in the lineup, but he saw something a little bit different yesterday in one of his at-bats with an outfield shift.
Yeah, you take a look at his at-bat in the 8th inning. John Jay playing center field was basically playing right center field, and this is something new for DJ LeMahieu. He hit right into this shift when he did it. He hit the ball really, really hard, and I'm sure out of the box, he felt like he had a hit, but they positioned it perfectly. And you know what that means?
What does that mean?
You know what that means, Philly?
I have no idea.
It's time now for the Auto Nation Drive to Know More.
Woo!
And here is what the Padres know. You take a look at DJ's spray chart, hits by direction, and 146 of his hits are to center or to right field. That's out of a possible 170 hits. So he's only hit 24 balls to left field. So what did the Padres do then? They take that shift, something that hasn't been done before. We saw it back in the 40s with Ted Williams. He had to hit basically with 7 guys on the right side of the infield. And the center field is almost in the exact same spot. That is a left-handed pull hitter. And now DJ, as a right-handed opposite field hitter, is getting the same shift.
And then you talk about maybe taking a different approach, because you take all of that shifting knowledge, what DJ can do, you put him at the top of the lineup tonight. He's going to see a lot of pitches.
Well, here's the thing with the shift, and it's what coaches will tell their pitchers, the pitching staff, and hitters will be told as well. Don't change anything as far as your hitting approach. You hit the ball where it goes. If you're pitching to the shift, you pitch where it goes, because our tendencies are you'll hit it where the ball's at. When you start adjusting, when you start changing that approach, you know, Corey, you're not the same player. Hit the way you go and then see what kind of results you get.
Well, I'm going to stick there. Here's what we're rooting for tonight. I'm rooting for DJ's beat the shift. This guy can hit anywhere in the lineup, as we mentioned. He should be able to hit anywhere on the field. Something to keep your eye on. He is 8 for 14 this season. I have a feeling the hit numbers are going to keep going
And
up.
for me, it's 6 appeal. Jorge De La Rosa needs to get through at least 6 innings. The bullpen in 4 games has already thrown 15 1/3 innings. To avoid just absolutely crushing them early, he needs to get deep into this game.
And what I'm rooting for is to keep adding to this charity drive. I want to see Trevor Story extend his home run streak. Keep making these puns, keep making it a national frenzy, because when we start donating money to children's literacy, it'll all go to a good cause.
I love it. Check out @SpillyGoat19. You can find out more about the GoFundMe for Trevor Story. We're going to find more about the story when we return. He's not just the talk of the town. He is a national frenzy, as Spilly said. And Drew Goodman and Jeff Houston will talk about rewriting history next. ready to play baseball here at 20th and Blake. Rockies still looking for their first win of the season at home. They'll try and do it tonight against the Padres. We welcome you back, Jenny Kavner, out in center field. And at this time, I usually bring in Drew Goodman and Jeff Houston to tell us the story. But if you don't know whose story is, then guys, you must be hiding under a rock at this point.
Well, you certainly don't live in North America, and you don't follow baseball even remotely. Yeah, Trevor's story is the story, pun intended. It's remarkable. Yesterday was a disappointing day from a team perspective because the Rockies fell 13-6. But Trevor's story hit not just one, but 2 more home runs. And he got the standing ovation when he was introduced based on what he did in Arizona. Nobody had ever seen him before, and all the fans now have a new hero.
It has been unbelievable, the amount of texts or phone calls that I've gotten from people within the game just saying, wow, this start that he's had, I've never seen it. Well, folks, you haven't seen it because there are so many records. There's more to this story. He's the first player in Major League history to hit 2 home runs on his debut, which came on opening day. Are you kidding me? Only player to homer in each of his first 4 Major League games. One of 5 players in Major League history to homer in his first 4 games of the season. 6 home runs through the first 4 games of the season, most in MLB history. You get the point. He's also set a rookie's record for home runs through the end of April. So, I mean, the list goes on and on and on, and it continues to grow each and every night.
Yeah, and when people say, have you ever seen anything like this? No, because it's never happened before. Not just the last graphic there, not just a rookie record. Nobody had ever hit 6 home runs in the first 4 games of the season. Well, we asked a guy who knows a thing or two about hitting the ball over the wall about Trevor's story. His name, Mark McGuire.
He probably doesn't try to hit a home run. He tries to square up the ball and hits the ball hard, and the ball leaves the ballpark. That's what we try to do. You know, it's one of those things where I want him to embrace what's happening to him. I want him to enjoy it because the outside world of the media and all the expectations that people might be putting on him, don't let that bother you.
And it has not so far. We're around him every day. He really stays grounded. You know, it was interesting. In the 9th inning when he hit the 2nd home run yesterday, I thought his actions were very muted because the team obviously was down by a large number. So it wasn't about him, It was about team, and that's how he's conducted himself from day one.
Very humble. You don't see his character, his demeanor changed at all. He's the same guy that we saw back in February to today.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit more, actually a lot more, about Trevor's story as the evening unfolds. Jorge De La Rosa to the hill for the Rockies tonight. Come on back to Coors Field. Welcome inside Coors Field, Game 2 of this homestand. The Rockies and San Diego Padres, Game 5 on the season. The Rockies at 500, 2-2. The Padres with their first victory yesterday. They are 1-3. A pair of left-handers going today. Jorge De La Rosa, who has mastered Coors Field, against the one-time Rocky, Drew Pomeranz, getting the start for San Diego. John Jay will lead things off for the Padres. And as we glance at their lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines, their 3 outfielders will be the first 3 hitters. Melvin Upton Jr. had a 2-run home run yesterday. He'll bat in the 2-hole. Matt Kemp had a breakout day. He had 4 hits, drove in 4 yesterday, including a long home run, almost 460 feet. He has great numbers against Jorge in his career. Will Myers next. John Jervis Solarte will bat 5th. Derek Norris, good hitting catcher, 6th. Alexi Ramirez, Corey Spangenberg, and then Drew Pomeranz. Well, De La Rosa had a rough first outing, disappointing first outing, with just 4 2/3 of an inning despite a big lead. But in his career at Coors Field, 48-16.
Yeah, and a 4.16 ERA. That comes in 91 games, 87 starts for Jorge. So he's mastered Coors Field. It's not a place that he's scared to pitch at. 35-year-old just turned 35 on Tuesday. His first home start.
So here we go. The Rockies in desperate need of a good start. They've had only one. Tyler Chatwood was outstanding on Wednesday at Chase Field. Other than that, the Rockies have not had good starting pitching, but they're going to reset things with the second start of the year for their leading pony, and that's Jorge De La Rosa, and his first pitch is in there for a strike. You know, going back to the opening game, yeah, Jorge went only 4 2/3. It was interesting because I thought the stuff was really good.
Well, he had 8 strikeouts in that game, so that tells you the stuff is good, but just too many pitches in such a short amount of time. 94 pitches, to be exact.
But you're ahead 0-2.
But you're right. It's up to Jorge today to go out and give you 6+ innings. And I mean, 6 2/3 would be good. Going to the 7th, all of that would be wonderful because the bullpen's already thrown 15 1/3 innings in just 4 games.
Here's the 0-2 to John Jay. And it's a splitter in the dirt, 1-2. Jay is 1 for 6 lifetime against De La Rosa. He was 2 for 5 yesterday. They really broke out. They were shut out, as everybody knows, the first 3 ball games of the year against the Dodgers, and then they pound out 18 hits yesterday. In fact, here's an interesting stat. You have to go back, as we so frequently do, to the Woodrow Wilson administration. The last time a team was shut out 3 straight games and then threw up 13 runs in a game.
It was a lot of presidents ago.
It was a lot of presidents ago. John Jay strikes out. And if you're wondering, it was Connie Mack's Philadelphia Athletics, who were shut out 3 straight games. And then they beat the Yankees 13-10 in their next outing. Defensive alignment for the Rockies. Ryan Rayburn is in left. Brandon Barnes in center. Cargo is in right. Arenado, Story left side. DJ and Mark Reynolds on the right side. Nick Hundley's doing the catching. Walt Weiss stuffing as many right-handed bats as he possibly can into the lineup against Pomeranz. Here's Melvin Upton Jr. And that misses.
Well, and what the Padres did today with Melvin Upton coming and hitting in the 2nd spot instead of Corey Spangenberg with the left-hander on the hill, they dropped him down to 8th.
And it makes sense.
Sure.
Here's the 1-0 to Upton. And that's inside, 2-0. Jim Joyce is behind home plate, and that is a good thing, generally speaking, for everybody involved. He's one of the best umpires in baseball, but I'll tell you a little stat about Jim Joyce behind the plate when Dela's on the mound. That's a strike. With Jim Joyce behind home plate, the opposition, when De La Rosa is on the hill, has hit just 209. And their OPS plus is 70. 100 is average. So he usually throws the ball well when Joyce is back there.
I thought you were going to say because he has such a loud booming voice, you don't have to wait to figure out what he called. He'll let you know.
We like that as well.
Yeah. Not the delayed call.
Right.
Now, Jimmy's one of the most respected umpires in the game. He's been around forever. Always fair, always very low-key, keeps the game under control. You just know when he's there that things are okay.
3-1 is foul back. Yeah, he has as much respect as any umpire in the game, and deservedly so. 1 out, 3-2 count on Melvin Upton Jr. just underway at Coors Field. Both teams got in batting practice for the most part. It started to rain late in San Diego's time on the field. They threw the tarp out there for a little bit. I was like, okay, we can't revisit last
April.
Yeah.
No.
And that's not close, and a 1 out walk. That'll bring up Matt Kemp. This is the last guy that De La Rosa wants to see. There's always one guy with a guy who's had a terrific career like De La Rosa. There's always one guy who has your number. And he has a lot of guys' numbers. Matt Kemp threw out 4 hits yesterday, and the middle part of the ballpark's where he hits a lot of home runs, and they usually go very far.
And those 4 hits yesterday for Kemp were the most he's had since he hit for the cycle here back in the middle of August last year.
There's a career .335 hitter at Coors Field, a .458 hitter in 48 at-bats against De La Rosa.
And 5 home runs.
Right, I mean, it's not just hits, it's hits with length on them, and so De La Rosa can regain the upper hand tonight. Good speed at first, and Melvin Upton Jr. LeMahieu shaded right up the middle with Matt Kemp. And that first pitch, so important. We talk about the 2 swing pitches in baseball, Huey. The first pitch, 1-0 versus 0-1, and then the 1-1 pitch. You're talking about more than 200-point swings in opponent batting average if it's, say, 2-1 versus 1-2.
Because hitters will shrink their strike zone when they get into those hitters counts, so they won't fish for a pitch that's maybe right on the corner, just a couple inches out. And that's why it's important for any pitcher to work ahead, get a good tempo, get a good rhythm. Also, it allows the umpires to kind of get into that rhythm too.
13 pitches for De La Rosa so far. Only 5 have been in the strike zone. This should be 2, though. There's 1, and Story gets some help from Mark Reynolds. That's an athletic play by Mark Reynolds on the throw. He helped out Trevor Story, and he still applied the tag. So it turns into a 4-6-3 inning-ending double play, just what De La Rosa was looking for. Great play by Reynolds. Well, Trevor Story has been remarkable so far. You run out of superlatives to describe the kind of run he's on. That was his 6th home run of the season yesterday. He pulled his hands in and still drove it out of the ballpark, and he didn't barrel it. Gives you an idea the kind of bat speed he produces. Here's the Southwest batting order. Trevor will be hitting second. DJ LeMahieu against the lefty. Pomeranz slides up to the top spot. Cargo, Nolan Arenado, Mark Reynolds, Ryan Rayburn, Nick Hundley, Brandon Barnes, and Jorge De La Rosa. And the Rockies will face a guy they know well, Drew Pomeranz, who was the biggest prize on paper in the Ubaldo Jimenez deal. And Drew scuffled in a Rockies uniform and eventually was moved on to Oakland. And last couple of years in Oakland, primarily out of the bullpen with some spot starts, has pitched pretty well.
Out of the bullpen in 44 relief appearances, a 2.61 ERA compared to what he was doing as a starter.
Look out, he dropped the baseball and then he picked it up and still got DJ. Here comes Trevor Story. Let's listen to the reaction. .368, 6 home runs, 11 RBIs, and he will be the National League Player of the Week in his first week in the big leagues. That is a foregone conclusion.
Why even put anybody else on the list?
You don't have to do anything.
Robinson Cano's had in the other league, had a nice week.
Yep, there's one in each league. There's a rookie pitcher, rookie hitter, there's a position player, and a pitcher as well. Strike one from Pomeranz. Drew came from Oakland to San Diego, the Yonder Alonso deal. And Mark Zipchinski was also involved in that, the reliever. So many impressive things about what Story has done. I want to take you back to spring training. Some of the guys he's hit bullets off of. We saw him in his last spring training home run was against Martin Perez, who's a good pitcher. Remember the ball he hit off the top of the wall against King Felix?
Yes.
So it's not, middle of the road guys or borderline big league guys. I mean, Zach Greinke twice, Shelby Miller. And Pomeranz strikes out Story. 2 gone.
Off-speed pitches last 2. This is the knuckle curve over the top for Drew Pomeranz. Heavy bite on that pitch. The numbers for Drew Pomeranz last season: 53 games, 5-6. In the 9 starts, he was 2-3 with an ERA almost 2 runs a game higher at 4.63 than he was in his relief appearances at 2.61. Batting average was also lower as a reliever. Rocky saw him twice in Oakland a year ago.
1 inning stints each time.
Right.
Cargo lines it to left. Good piece of hitting. I think it's so helpful, Huey, and I want to get your opinion naturally. You are a left-handed hitter. Early in the season to see some left-handed pitchers so you stay close, especially for a guy who's an everyday guy like Cargo.
Well, and to come out for Cargo knowing that the shift is on too. So that doubly reinforces what you're trying to do. Keep that left shoulder in. They're giving me the left side of the infield and part of the outfield. That'll just say, hey, I need to hit it that way, and that's exactly what he did.
So here's Arenado. Nolan, a home run, 3 driven in. Padres with a slightly different alignment. If you look at Corey Spangenberg tonight than what we saw in game 1, isn't that interesting?
Yeah, Spangenberg on the other side of second base with Nolan. Tonight, he stayed home.
That misses, 2-0.
So the first couple games, Spangenberg was over to this area, but tonight, not so much.
Yeah, it's literally, what would you say, probably 25 feet at least difference?
At least.
Maybe 30. High, ball 3. Let's take a look at the Padres on defense. Upton, Jay, and Kemp in their outfield. And then it's Solarte at third, Alexi Ramirez, the former White Sox, at short, Spangenberg, Will Myers, and Derek Norris. 3-0 on Nolan. And that's in there. One of the more difficult guys in baseball to walk, Nolan Arenado.
Hey, he had 2 walks yesterday. He had 2 walks in one game all of last year.
Dougie will hand us a note on like July 4th saying, hey, this is the second time this year he's walked twice in a game. 3-1. Cargo will be off with the pitch. 2 outs, bottom of 1, no score. 3-2 on Nolan Arenado.
Just make sure he delivers the baseball home if you're Cargo. Don't get picked.
And Nolan is jammed, and it's a pop fly to right field. Kemp's got it, and we'll go to the second inning. Nothing doing on the scoreboard so far. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your hometown Toyota stores, Toyota, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. We go to inning number 2 at 20th and Blake with my partner Jeff Houston, Mark Stout working all over the ballpark. I'm Drew Goodman. Rockies took 2 of 3 down in Arizona. Looking for their first W of the year at home after losing 13-6 yesterday. It looks like Mark Reynolds had to go to the backup first baseman glove.
Maybe that one had a hole in it. There was a string loose. That one looks like it's just out of the plastic.
Well, you usually have, what, at least 2 broken in?
You do. You'll have your backup to your gamer and then the backup to the backup.
You know who breaks in a lot of gloves for players? Keith Duggar, the Rockies' outstanding trainer. That misses, and it's 2-0 on Will Myers.
And he's also the one that will relace gloves if a glove breaks.
And Scotty does a great
Scotty
job.
does
Scotty Garrett as well.
I think all trade. That's down in the minor leagues. That's what those guys do. You'll give them to the trainers. They'll lace them up, have all that for you, and it's just right.
2-0 on Myers, and 3-0. Now this trend, and Jorge knows it's got to change. He threw a 2-0 changeup, and he misses. So a 3-0 count on Will Myers, and he was fortunate on a 2-0 count. He got Matt Kemp to ground into that double play to end the inning, but you can't consistently,
well, we saw
to state the obvious, be behind in counts.
We saw it yesterday with Jordan Lyles. How many pitches he had to throw, and then eventually it catches up with you. Right on the corner of the Subaru strike zone.
Well, it goes back to something you mentioned, and we mention all the time. It hurts your tempo also. This ball's lobbed to second base. Easy play for LeMahieu. 1 out.
want to go back to that double play in the first inning for a moment just to see what happens. So DJ catches it, great feed over to second base. But here's where the new rules come into play. You see the runner going right in, and then Trevor has to clear himself so much over this way that by the time his feet come down, he's throwing awkwardly back to first. So he never really gets that shoulders turn. And then Mark Reynolds, we saw 2 plays, I remember, in 1 inning down in Arizona where he had to make stretches, go real high to get a ball. And that one was a very athletic play, to catch the ball, come off, and make the sweep tag.
Well, we were talking to Walt down in Arizona about Mark Reynolds, and he said, honestly, he said he's a lot more athletic than I realized. And it wasn't a knock on Mark, but, you know, he's a little further along in his career, and he's moved primarily to first base. That misses 2-0 on Solarte. And, you know, you remember, though, way back when he started in pro ball, when he came out of the University of Virginia, he was a shortstop.
But then when you don't see somebody, maybe he moves another league, you don't watch him every day,
Sure.
you don't see. You'll see 1 game here, 2 games there. So you don't have that. But
Right.
now, after watching him in spring training, watching him here in the first 4 games, you say, okay.
And baseball, Huey, maybe more than any other sport. That's why, you know, we always show the scout section. It's hard to go and watch a guy once and have a full idea of who that guy is as a player, or potentially will be as a player. You get certain things are evident. You know, a guy has a big arm. Well, okay, I put a gun on him. He's 95, big arm. I know that.
Right.
You know, maybe you tie him up at first base line. He's 3'9". Wow, guy's got great speed. Okay.
But what if a guy doesn't get a ball hit to him?
Right, or, you know, he gets 4 at bats, and, you know, that's inside, ball 4. So 1 out walk, second walk issued by De La Rosa. In baseball, I think more so than any of the other major sports, you need to watch a guy closely for a period of time. See him play 8, 10 ball games.
And film doesn't do it justice. They do a lot of films in college and football in particular, because you only play once a week. Well, that's why when you see scouts come, they'll usually be here for 5 days. 1, to get all 5 guys in the rotation. They'll usually see everybody out of the bullpen, but also they'll see guys where they have 20 to 25 at bats, and that helps further that report that they have on somebody.
Yep. That's why the art of scouting is so difficult. Scouts will, you know, the good ones, the guys who've done it for a long time, as Derek Norris has a 1-strike count, great numbers against De La Rosa, 6 for 10. Those scouts will tell you that we miss on more guys than you match. It's less than a 50-50 proposition.
It's so hard. And you think back to the amateur guys too. They're trying to go to high school or colleges and project and do this. And even when they get into pro ball, I remember having to scout some guys down in the minor leagues. You think, well, I think this guy's going to make it. He flashed out at AA.
It's so difficult. I was talking to a guy today at my eldest son's game who played 5 years of pro ball, never got to the big leagues. He said, coming out of high school, I was like 95 pounds. So, I mean, no scout would look at him.
No.
Went to junior college and, you know, kept getting better and better, and then lo and behold, he became a prospect years down the road.
That's why the scouts that can be right more times than not, they're worth their weight in gold. You keep those guys because sometimes there's just not numbers that can project somebody. They'll put their eyes, they'll talk to the kid or the family, and that'll help determine maybe what they'll be.
1-2's fouled off. 1 out and 1 on. Solarte's at first base. Derek Norris, who last year had 49 extra base hits, which was more than any other catcher in the game. .378 career hitter against the Rockies. Looks like a lumberjack. Here's the 1-2. Good block by Nick Hundley. Dela's really laboring, and the pitch is laboring with his go-to pitch is split.
Out of the hand, you can see the grip already he has, and then just buried it. Pulled too hard to try to get the tumbling action. Super block by Nick, not to allow Solarte to advance and still have the double play. as a possibility.
And now it's full. If they put Solarte in motion. Four 3-ball counts already from De La Rosa. Not going, ball 4. Now 3 walks. And we'll see if Steve Foster goes to the mound. No, not yet. The month of April has not always been kind to De La Rosa. He does have a reputation of being more of a slow starter, but it's something he wants to turn around. You cannot create traffic. It's been said a million times in any ballpark, and more than any other ballpark at Coors Field. You can't do it.
You just can't. You get, to me, also you get the defense on their heels. You come out, you're ready to go. The anthem is played. You run out to your position. Everything's great. And then it's ball 1, ball 2. And you start to settle down. You start to sink down. You don't have that same energy level.
Out front is Alexi Ramirez. It's 0-1. De La's really become a starting pitcher who pitches backwards.
Split finger is his first pitch. Those are about 37% of the time. His fastball, roughly 32% of the time.
And that's what we mean by backwards. Usually the fastball is the most prominently featured pitch.
And the corresponding miles per hour to go with the split finger. So what you're looking for, anywhere from 9 to 11 miles an hour difference between your fastball and your off speed, whether it's a splitter, circle change, however you want to throw that. Also throw the cut fastball and the curveball.
And that misses. 2 balls and a strike.
And you can tell by the way the Padres are taking these pitches. They're watching down in the dugout. Say, okay, he's having trouble throwing the split finger for a strike. Sit on the fastball.
Yeah.
34 pitches, 21 balls.
You're still a ground ball from getting out of it, and that's hooked past Glenn Hoffman, 2-2.
And that is the good news. It's you make that one pitch where you get it somebody out on their front side, they roll over. And with the defense, then this inning's done and you're back in the dugout getting ready to hit.
It remains 2-2. De La's got to go to first. 2 outs. Two outs, second and third. Corey Spangenberg is up, left on left. Rockies fans join in on the conversation this season, as in every season. Send us your thoughts, photos, questions, and comments. Use your favorite social media platform. Use the hashtag #ChoyaToTalk. That's all that is required. And we'll get to some of those comments and pictures throughout the evening.
De La Rosa did the smart thing after knocking that baseball down, not panicking, went down and got it. He got the out at first.
And he can pitch judiciously here because you have Pomerantz up next. And Pomerantz can swing the bat, but you know he is a pitcher. The luxury with Spangenberg up is that you are left on left. And first base is unoccupied. Perfect world. You'd like to get Spangenberg and head to the dugout and start with the pitcher next inning. On the corner, 1-1. another one. 1-2.
Both of them right there in the Subaru strike zone. Tough pitches for the hitter, great pitches for Jorge.
'41st pitch for De La Rosa, the 1-2 outside. 2-2. De La Rosa in his career 8-6 against San Diego. And it's 3-2. Lefties in De La Rosa's career have hit only .228 against him.
And Spangenberg on the early part of the season just 1 for 6 against left-handed pitching.
3-2, ball 4. Man, that's 4 walks.
Ahead in the count, and then 3 balls. And this one close,
But it's up.
but it is up. And now you're closing in on upwards 44 pitches is going to be the next pitch.
Yeah, again, everybody out there, they understand. Then you're in your bullpen early, et cetera, et cetera. Pomeranz, 206 average in his career, which is very, very solid for a pitcher, but he hasn't had an at-bat plate appearance since 2013, working primarily out of the bullpen with the A's. And that first pitch to the pitcher with the bases loaded, missed by 2.5 feet. Pomeranz had the take sign. And you know what? I'm telling you, if I'm Andy Green flashing the signs to Glenn Hoffman, I may have him take another pitch, wait for another strike.
Well, and you saw Jim Joyce look over and he was talking to the dugout because I'm sure they were saying something to Jim. Okay, now finish him off with this pitch.
Bases loaded, no score, top of 2. One and 2 on the Ole Miss product, Drew Pomeranz. And it's 2-2. You can see on the Subaru strike zone, there was one borderline strike. That's why San Diego was chirping. And then the cutter in that Pomeranz swung at was a ball.
Now the question is, what does he throw? Does he throw the fastball? Does he throw the split?
Well, you know, at some point you have to have some confidence in your fastball, don't you?
Command the fastball. There it was,
fastball.
but it was up and away. Easy pitch for anybody to get to.
At least in the early going, this is one of the things that's a little bit different for De La Rosa, and it was this way last year. He's more 90-91 with his fastball. Prior to Tommy John surgery, he was 94, 95. He'd flash some 96s. We'd occasionally see 93 last year, but velocity not what it was. And mid-30s may have something to do with it. That's in the dirt, and it's now a full count on Pomeranz. You look up
50,
laboring in the dictionary, and right now you'd see a picture of De La Rosa.
50 pitches straight up. His first start, 94 pitches, 4 2/3.
in the air, foul and out of play down the right field line. Well, here's one of the contrasts to the start down at Chase Field. As we discussed earlier, his stuff was really good. He had trouble harnessing it, but he had 8 strikeouts. He's not missing any bats right now, even when he's in the zone.
And the only pitch that he's throwing somewhat close is the fastball. So everybody's just letting go of the split finger.
Ground ball right back to De La Rosa, who had something to say to himself before he threw to Mark Reynolds. So he lives to tell about it, but he's 52 pitches in 2 innings.
Bottom 2 at Coors Field, second game of the season here at home and no score. Mark Reynolds, one of the newest Rockies, about to step into the batter's box. I asked him about his bat because you know he can hit the long ball, 237 in his career. He told me when he was in A-ball with the Arizona Diamondbacks in Lancaster, California, one of their top prospects tossed all of his bats. He picked it up. It was an old Hickory J154, 34-32. Hit .337 that summer with 23 homers back in 2006. Guys, he has used that same model since, did not give it up. He was a 16th round pick, so that's how you find your bat sometimes, right, Huey?
That's right.
You know?
Yeah, you got to figure out what works for you, and then you stick with it, Mark.
And that's what he has done.
Reynolds to face Pomerantz leading off here in the second. That's inside ball 1. Rockies got a base hit from Carlos Gonzalez in the first, but Nolan Arenado flew out to right field to end the inning. Were you, I'm trying to remember, were you 271 guy?
Yes, indeed.
Which is probably the most popular model.
I think that's the one that down in the minor leagues it is for sure, and then you just become comfortable with it. You have the M110s, the C243s.
It's got a little, the 243's got a little bit bigger barrel.
Bigger barrel, maybe a bigger handle. M110's more, you know, kind of, you don't have the big taper.
So now guys are ordering bats in 3/4 inch models. In other words,
yeah, it used to be just half-inch.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Trevor Story uses a 33 3/4 inch. Brandon Barnes just he was telling me yesterday has a bat order coming in that's 33 3/4, 31.5 ounces.
Yeah, most of the time it was 34, 32, so 34 inches long, 32 ounces, and then you maybe drop down a half an ounce as the summer wore on. You know, but guys now, I mean, and sure, you get a shipment of bats. First thing you do is you put it on the scale to make sure that that's what the weight is.
And it's not the scale in your bathroom, folks.
No, I don't. You don't hop
clubhouse, in the clubby's office is a scale, and they'll come in and they'll measure it, and then they'll write in magic marker what it is exactly, and it's funny because the bats are the tools of your trade. And if you get a dozen bats, you'll take 3 or 4 and you ping it and you say, well, this is a gamer, and then the other one's what, they're BP bats?
BP bats, giveaway
bats.
When your buddy says, hey, can I have one of your bats? Sure, take this one.
Right.
I'm not going to use it anyway.
Well, think about Trevor Story, the Hall of Fame. I mean,
I don't blame him on that one.
He was humbled and honored, and he sent a batting helmet. He said batting gloves, but he said, there's no way they're getting my bat.
Nor should he have given his bat up.
And that's also why, guys will be represented. They'll have deals with a certain manufacturer, let's say for batting gloves or for spikes. But when it comes to bats, all the manufacturers understand that because the way the sport works, they may use, swung on a miss by Rayburn, they may use, a certain bat for a while, and then all of a sudden they feel like they're in a funk. They pick up somebody else's bat. Guys all the time take bats to the plate, and it may be, Cargo, I'm being very hypothetical here, may show up and have a Matt Kemp bat at the plate.
Or one of your teammates. It doesn't matter. Whatever feels good in your hands. If you're struggling, you go to the plate. You'll grab your buddy's bat. Say, boy, I want to use this one today. Sure, go ahead. If it's going to help you get a couple hits, we win the ball game. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, but sometimes bats travel.
Oh, they do.
From one team to another. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that's strike 3 on Rayburn. 3 strikeouts for Drew Pomeranz. 2 gone, nobody on. That'll bring up Nick Hundley.
So you're talking about pinging your bat.
Yeah.
So you kind of basically hold the bat like this, and then you'll just hit it. And there's a sound that comes off of it where it's real, just has a special sound when it's hard. I can't really describe it, but that's how you just hold it ever so slightly, kind of hit it, and then you'll listen for it. And some are lighter, some are a more dense sound.
And you're looking for density in the wood.
Yeah, you're looking for density in the wood. That's why you look for a heavier sound than you would if it sounds real light or real hollow.
Well, if my wife is watching, she's saying, listen, you're tone deaf, so how would you
Well, I am in music. I will tell you that. Ask my family.
No, I have no idea. Right?
No, that is true. Music, I am. But with my bats, I could definitely tell.
Down the line, fair ball. Nick Hundley should get a double out of this. Long run for Melvin Upton Jr. And a 2-out double for Hundley. First double of the year for Nick.
Again, the knuckle curve. Nick gets out in front, hits it right in front of home plate, but chases the line. You say, wait, it was in foul territory, but it crossed over the bag because it had hit in fair territory. That's why Solarte was pointing like it was foul, but Chad Fairchild, the third base umpire, had none of that. Said, no, it crossed the bag in fair territory. It's a double.
Brandon Barnes at the plate. 2 for 4 in the early going. Second start of the season for Barnes.
Go back to that double from Nick Hundley. Right down the line. Chad straddling the line. Perfect position for an umpire. So he's watching it the whole way. He's intersecting the ball in the bag. Where did it cross? Called it fair. Solarte didn't agree with it, but his angle is different than Chad's.
1-0 on Barnes. And Barnes got a pitch to hit there, and he was on it. It's kind of interesting for Pomeranz. Last couple of years out of the bullpen, he's really a 2-pitch starting pitcher.
Fastball, curveball. In the last 3 years, he's only thrown 40 changeups combined in those 3 years. So I wouldn't even look for it. I'd look whatever you feel like he's going to throw. It's either fastball or curveball. I wipe the changeup out of my mind.
That's fouled up. Now he's like Ray. He's a knuckle curve guy. Can you see that out of the hand at times?
No, people like to think they do. Can you see that knuckle raised? No, because it's coming through at such a high rate when he's trying to get on top of it. Yeah, we slow it down. It looks inviting when we slow it down with our camera, But no, when you're standing at the plate, you see this blur coming to you, and that's when you try to pick it up out of the hand.
Curveball count. Here's the 1-2. He got the fastball, shattered bat, and Solarte has it over to Myers to end the inning. So Hundley's left at second. We'll go to the third inning. No score. Concourse on a Saturday night at Coors Field. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, Mark Stout as Jorge De La Rosa finishing his warm-up pitches. Scoreless as we go to the third. Fans, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the following day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Live Más at Taco Bell. Top of the order for the Padres. John Jay began the ball game striking out against De La Rosa. Jay battled some injuries last year. How about this? When he started last year for the Cardinals, they were 21 games over 500. Did you see their game last night? Read about it at all? They had 3 pinch hit home runs yesterday. That's got to be that's got to tie the record or be the record. It is the record, Doug says. That had never happened before. And 2 were rookies.
That's great managing.
Yeah,
saying, hey, go up there and hit a home run for me.
Hey, you're next. Go hit a bomb. We need it.
The other 2 guys did. Your turn.
Don't be a slacker. 1-1 on Jay. That just misses. And that's why I was thinking about this as I was driving to the ballpark today. That one of the beautiful things about this game, in particular, all of sports, but in particular baseball, you never know what you're going to see when you come to the ballpark.
And don't leave early. That's the other thing. Some people left yesterday before Trevor hit his second home run.
Yeah. And, you know, now they're going to have to lie a little bit down there.
I was there
when he hit the first 2 in his first home game, and he gave him 6 in 4 games, a record. Tell the truth, honey. You left in the 7th. Two and 2 on Jay. Melvin Upton Jr. on deck. And there's that splitter that he's not been able to command.
He's just starting it too low in the zone. So every time he throws it, it appears to be a ball out of the hand for the hitter. So he doesn't even fish for it. It's just that fine line with the release point. Hanging on too long or not long enough.
And that is walk number 5. 10 hitters, 5 walks. Last night, something else when you go to the park you don't ordinarily see. In his rookie debut, a near no-hitter.
But then 2 home runs by the Giants. The only 2 hits they had, including the walk-off by Brandon Crawford.
Right, Trevor Brown, who hit that home run after Dave Roberts at 100 pitches, pulled the young man. Trevor Brown's a rookie also. To third, tough chance for everybody except Nolan. They almost turned that over. Wow. That is a phenomenal pickup and maybe a better feed.
Better feed because when you're running away or going away so hard from second base, to get enough on that throw so it doesn't tail back into the runner, but he threw it right on the money. And then DJ makes sure that he keeps that foot on the bag, almost acts like a first baseman first, and then comes off, and just that little bit that he waited allowed Melvin Upton to get to first base. But it was smart because with that neighborhood play, we've said it a couple times now, if he comes across too soon, both people are safe.
What a debut for Ross Stripling. He's got nothing to show for it.
And I like what Ross's parents said today. They backed Dave Roberts in pulling him because he missed the whole 2014 season with Tommy John surgery. Pitched last year but didn't build up the innings. First game out. You don't want to. I mean, it's not like Johan Santana with the Mets that had shoulder problems, but he was towards the end of his career when they left him in for what is 135,
148, wasn't it, for that no-hitter? The only no-hitter in Mets history, yeah.
He shorted him 10 pitches, but yeah, almost 150 pitches to throw the no-hitter. Different circumstances.
There's no way to qualify it either, because some people say, well, Santana was never the same after that. Well, he was also really long in the tooth, and who knows if that had anything to do with it.
And he said if I had to do it all over again, I'd do it.
Absolutely.
But this kid is young, still has a bright future in front of him.
1-0 on Kemp, 2-0 on Kemp.
I know that you're going to hear that argument. Well, he might never have another chance to throw a no-hitter. Well, if he throws and he blows out his arm, he might not ever have another chance to pitch again.
Which I think when he would look back on his career, he would prefer. But again, nobody knows. Nobody knows. If, they got it picked off. Safe.
Oh! They're gonna challenge that kid. Upton came off the bag afterwards, thinking that he was out. The runner,
he did, and DJ flipped it to Story to throw it around.
He comes off, closes ground, catch, tag. Foot's not on the bag. Fielder will let you know. Foot up in the air, tag. He's out by 6-8 inches.
Out. So James Hoy will go in with Jim Joyce, and this shouldn't take very long to turn it around. It'll be a caught stealing 1-3-6.
1-3-4.
1-3-4. Let me correct that. You're right. With the shift, DJ was the one covering. Crowd singing on the jumbotron, so they're.
I already went ahead and read it.
Yep, this
wrote
quick.
it in my
See,
book.
Jim's ready to take it off.
Yeah. Oh, that was tag right there.
Sadiq, I thought he was taking the headset off.
Now he is. Go ahead. Give some credit there on that pickoff, also to Tommy Reynolds, the bench coach, making that call to throw over After the pitch before, Melvin Upton Jr. bluffed like he was stealing.
Third challenge for the Rockies this year. It's the first successful one. 2 outs, 2-0 on Matt Kemp. And that's going to make it 1-0. 6th career home run for Kemp against De La Rosa. He's now 23 for 50. A .460 average lifetime against De La Rosa. Second home run of the series for Kemp. 1-0 San Diego.
In the first inning, Matt Kemp reached for a pitch. He hit into a double play. This time, he doesn't. Gets one mid-thigh, and he knew it immediately. But another time that Jorge was behind in the count, 2-0.
That's 2-0, absolutely. And then it's not a high-quality 2-0 pitch because it was above the belt.
Now you're glad that they challenged that call at second base. Otherwise, it's 2-0.
Ball and a strike on Will Myers. He had a little flare to second his first time up. Kemp has 38 career home runs against the Rockies. The only players to have hit more: Barry Bonds hit 54 against Colorado. Sammy Sosa hit 45. Reggie Sanders also hit 38 home runs against the Rockies. Good pitch, 1-2.
I like that curveball there in that count.
Two and two. He went. That'll end the inning. Matt Kemp hits a home run to left. And it's 1-0 San Diego. Coming up for the Rockies. 9-1-2, which means we'll see Trevor Story.
Ball game today. We had a chance to honor our colleague, my good friend, my partner for 11 years. What else can I say about the Colorado Sports Broadcaster of the Year? Congratulations again, my friend.
That was
well-deserved honor.
Thank you. That was very nice. It was, and I thanked the Rockies quite a bit. I had no idea, and that was very nice. And I felt like, you know, what do you do here? Wave a little bit?
Oh, that's what you did. You just waved, you bowed, you did everything you needed to do.
Do you know what?
But no, honestly, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The greatest honor and privilege is, as you know, we talk about it a lot, having the opportunity to come into people's living rooms 150 nights a year and talk baseball and to be a guest in your home. And that's the greatest reward of all, honestly.
We are privileged to be able to come to a Major League ballpark every single day and do something that we love to do. And once again, you were honored and deserved the honor.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. Jorge De La Rosa leading off against Drew Pomerantz, his one-time teammate. There's that curveball of Pomerantz, and it's 1-2. Pomerantz, if you recall, it was a I'm sure you do, if you're a Rockies fan, at any level, you remember the big deal, Ubaldo Jimenez to Cleveland for 2 #1 picks, Pomerantz being one, Alex White being the other, the 2 most recent #1s for Cleveland, Matt McBride and Joe Gardner, who was a pitcher. And, you know, unfortunately, when you look back, you never know of the trade. It didn't work out great in that Alex White ended up, you know, struggling, then blowing out when he went to Houston. He had Tommy John surgery. Drew Pomerantz, kind of a mixed bag when he was here. Matt McBride was up and down with the Rockies, and Joe Gardner never got to the big leagues.
And if you remember, that trade went down when we were down in San Diego against the Padres.
4 strikeouts, and here's the trade. Ubaldo now with the Baltimore Orioles. Ubaldo threw a gem in his first game of the year. 7 innings, I believe, with 9 strikeouts, 1 walk or no walks, and he got the victory. Gave up just 1 earned run.
The difference now with Ubaldo and then back then, I was watching the game that he was throwing the other day. He's 88, 90, 91 maybe with his fastball.
Yeah, touch 92 maybe, but the 97 to 99.
They're gone.
But you learn how to pitch.
And that's what he is now. He's a pitcher, not just a thrower.
Got to take you back real quick as we're looking at Drew Pomerantz, who was the 5th pick in that 2011 first round. Remember who the first pick was in 2011?
2011.
He was one of the most hyped players in years and years.
Oh, was that Harper?
Bryce Harper.
Yeah, right, okay.
Bryce Harper was the #1 pick. Jamison Talon, pitcher, went to Pittsburgh, #2. Manny Machado was 3rd to Baltimore. That's worked out well. And they say he went around, so LeMahieu's gone. That's strikeout #5. Rockies struggling with that curveball. Christian Colon, Kansas City, was #4, and then Drew Pomerantz. Story struck out on a curveball in the dirt his first time. There's 2 outs and nobody on. San Diego will put on the full-fledged shift. They have 3 on the left side. Outside. The Coors Light Cold Hard Facts are brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. Most home runs through the first 4 games of the season, all time. This has nothing to do with rookies. Story was 6. More than Lou Brock, Chris Shelton, Adrian Gonzalez, Barry Bonds. Last year, Adrian Gonzalez hit 5 home runs in his first 3 games, which was a record. Lou Brock, you don't think of home runs when you think of Lou Brock. You think of a great hitter who stole a lot of bases. You know, Brock's a Hall of Famer. Bonds, Hall of Fame statistics. Adrian Gonzalez will be in consideration when his career is done. And Chris Shelton, you know, had the great start to his career. And there's so many things that can derail a guy in his big league life, if you will.
I think the funny thing about those 6 home runs, not funny, I guess it's, but there are only 6 teams that have more home runs than Trevor has collectively.
1-2 shows the fastball.
That'd be the Mariners have 10, the Giants have 9, Orioles, Astros, Yankees, and Rays all have 7. So 23 other teams have 6 home runs or less.
Individually, Robbie Cano has 4 home runs. He had a home run the first 4 games for Seattle. And a strikeout. So Pomerantz strikes out the side. He has 6 strikeouts in 3 innings, and on a Matt Kemp home run, the Padres lead 1-0.
That man, Matt Kemp, who in the 3rd hit his 2nd homer in as many days here at Coors Field. It's something that he does a lot against Jorge De La Rosa, that he does a lot at 20th and Blake, and something that he does a lot against the Rockies over his career. I've got the unwelcome Matt to show you. When you look at some of his numbers, hits, runs, doubles, homers, RBIs, he has far more against the Rockies than any other opponent. And guys, the one that stands out is he now has 36 more RBIs against the Rockies than the next closest team, and he has not played the most games in his career against the Rockies. Yeah, he's been in the NL West his entire career, but he's played more games against the Giants, and we know that he can hit here at Coors Field, so that all makes sense. So,
well, you listen, he's a great hitter, Mark. Just a great ballpark to hit in. We all know that. And Matt Kemp, like a lot of guys, put up large numbers. When you look at the list, though, it's not a list and we go, who's that guy? This ball's driven to left center field. This is getting cut off by Rayburn. Solarte really pulled up. He got hurt.
Hamstring.
Solarte was rounding first. He's done. That's a shame. I mean, he was around first, and I mean, he really pulled something.
Grabbing the back of his right leg. No problem coming out of the box. And then when he starts to make the turn,
well, that will be a DL stint for Solarte. You don't have to examine him as a trainer. You can tell from here.
That's not just a cramp in the back of the leg. That was a strain, and now it'll be Adam Rosales.
Adam Rosales. So Yangervis Solarte goes out after the leadoff single. Derek Norris at the plate.
Padres are going to have to make another move. They made one yesterday to bring Brad Hand in, or excuse me, Robbie Erlin, and then Brad Hand today. They put Tyson Ross on the DL. So James Shields will now pitch on Sunday instead of Tyson Ross. And it looks like they'll make another move after the game tonight or first thing in the morning for Solarte.
We always say this toward the end of spring training on our broadcast, that it's a day that's tough for a lot of players, for a manager to have to tell a player he's sent down. But almost every manager that late in spring training, the guys that they're sending out, all 30 managers are saying, listen, we're going to need you at some point. Just keep working hard and be ready. You'll be the first phone call if something happens in your area, whether it's an infield, outfield, pitcher, whatever it is. They say you're going to be the guy. Right, and as you documented, the Padres here in the first, not even the first full week of the season, they'll have already made 4 moves. Erlin came up, Hand is here. They're going to have to make another one after the ball game. So that is the nature of sports. There's going to be injuries, and somebody else has to step forward. That's why you go down and you don't feel sorry for yourself if you're one of the last few guys that are sent out. Work hard, do your thing, because injuries will happen. This is fouled off. You know the phrase, and it's real popular in football, next man up, next man up. I understand and embrace that philosophy, because you can't do anything about a guy that gets hurt, and it has to be the next guy up. But truth be told, sometimes the next guy up is probably not as good as the first guy who was up. Or he would have made the roster. But that's a mentality that you have to have. You can't, I mean, everybody has injuries. You can't sit around and say, well, I wish we had so-and-so and he would really help us here. Well, he's not here. He can't play. 2-2 on Norris. 75 pitches in, nobody out in the 4th inning. You're hoping that Jorge bounced back from that first outing. He was thrilled the team got a victory. He was upset with himself that he couldn't pitch deep into the ball game. And now he gives up another base hit. Vargo quickly to the baseball. Rosales stops at second. 2 on for Ramirez. Nobody out. Be sure to catch the best fireworks show in town this summer on Friday, July 8th and Saturday, July 9th. A game against the Philadelphia Phillies. Fireworks immediately after. Some of the best fireworks around. You don't want to miss it. Call 303 Rockies. Go online to rockies.com/fireworks. But make sure you get your tickets for the July 8th and 9th game. Why don't you come back-to-back nights? See fireworks both nights. They won't have the route on there. They'll actually be. That's what we're going to do. Oh, of course. Why not? Alexi Ramirez hit a comebacker in the 2nd inning. On the inside corner for the former All-Star with the White Sox. To the Midsummer Classic in 2014, a career .273 hitter. 8 years with the White Sox, 2008 through 15. It's a long time in this day and age. Career .273 hitter, 109 home runs, 542 RBIs. Yeah, he's got some pop. He's always been a good offensive player. U.S. Cellular, typically a good offensive ballpark. When it warms up. Well, we'll be in Chicago next week, and I hope it warms up from what we've been seeing on the weather reports and the pictures from some of these ballparks back east. Washington is too cold for them to play today. 1 out as Ramirez strikes out. 3rd punch out for De La Rosa. That'll bring up the left-handed hitting second baseman Corey Spangenberg. Dougie, how cold was it in Washington that they had to cold it out? Low 30s, but in Cleveland they said this is a beautiful day. They cleaned some ice off the field, literally, and they went right. Here we go. It's Cleveland. Put the stocking cap on underneath your ball cap. It's July somewhere, right? Spangenberg hits it to deep right field, and this one is over the new wall into the bullpen, and a 3-run home run for Corey Spangenberg, his first of the year. And now the Rockies have a problem. It's 4-0.
Thought we might get the first look of the extension on the wall in right center field.
And that's why Cargo didn't run to the wall. Like in the past, he would have run to the wall.
But he stayed off the wall in case it does hit there, waiting for a rebound. You see him stop, plant himself. And now a base hit by Drew Pomeranz.
And this looks like what we've witnessed 3 of the first 4 ball games, where the Rockies are going to have to be in the pen early.
But yesterday they used their 2 long guys in Chris Russin and Christian Bergman. Now Russin could probably throw again because he threw an inning and a third, 27 pitches. Christian 2 innings with 23 pitches. But you're asking a lot of those guys to come out after pitching multiple innings when they're the long guy to then try to come back tonight if they go to the pen. I should say if they go to the pen this early.
Fouled off by Jay, 1 out, Pomeranz on. 3 runs in on the 3-run home run by Spangenberg. That was the first hit for Drew Pomeranz in September 26, 2012, when he wore a Rockies uniform. Rayburn will not have a play. This ball's well hit to left center field, and it was tracked down by Barnes, who I think misjudged it initially, but Brandon, great athletic ability, able to recover and make the catch.
Well, with that first home run hit by Corey Spangenberg to right center field over the new wall, take a look at the combined home runs at Coors Field by everybody last year, and you can tell from the graphic that right center field had the most hit at 50. Next closest was the left center field gap, 41.
We watched all of BP yesterday. We did not see one ball that went off the wall. Did you?
No, and I didn't see any today during batting practice. But I said it yesterday, I'll say it again today. That wall is unobtrusive. You don't really even notice it being up. They did a superb job with that fencing.
Pulled through the hole, a base hit for Upton. Pomeranz to second, and that will bring up Matt Kemp with traffic.
This is kind of like the 4th inning yesterday for the Padres. Padres put up a 6 spot in yesterday's ball game. Bring Steve Foster out to the mound.
Well, you know, with any pitcher, particularly a veteran guy, it may be a mechanics thing or whatever. It's not like, you know, fans are saying throw strikes. You don't think Jorge knows that's what he's trying to do? It's just, it's not working out.
And it
the
could
ones
just be
now
one
that
of
he's
those,
thrown over the plate are getting barreled.
And it could be one of those nights. I mean, you go out there, and I've heard George say it before, that if you go 30, 32 starts, that you're going to throw some clunkers.
On the outside corner, Matt Kemp last inning hit a long home run to left, 448 feet. The one he hit yesterday was 457 feet. mentioned the list now. Matt Kemp moved ahead of Eric Karros and tied Reggie Sanders' all-time home run list against the Rockies. Was hitting instructor for the Marlins with 54.
Is this Sammy that had 3 home runs in the one game and then didn't hit in the 7th inning? Or?
I told that story recently, so I don't know how it came up. I'll retell it quickly if we get a moment. Here's the 1-1. That misses 2-1. Sosa in the 4th inning is playing for the Cubs and hit a 3-run home run in the 4th inning. He came up to right center field. Well hit, obviously. 5th inning, same thing. Comes up with 2 men on. Hits one even farther to right center field. Comes up in the 6th inning. Again, 2 men on. 3 straight innings. He already has 2 3-run home runs. 6th inning, he hits one virtually the same spot, but farther than the previous 2. 3 3-run home runs in the 4th, 5th, 6th inning, and shut it down.
So no more. That's enough
took
for
himself
today.
out of the game. Didn't go for the record books, joining a number of others who hit 4 in a game. 2-2 on Kemp with 2 on. Something else. De La Rosa's at 90 pitches, so this may be it for a couple of reasons. This ball's well hit right center field. Barnes chasing, and this one's gone. 3-run home run for Kemp. It is 7-0 San Diego, and Kemp continues to just tear up the Rockies and specifically Jorge De La Rosa in his career. 7th career home run against De La Rosa, and he has almost a .500 batting average against him.
The book on Matt Kemp, if you do want to pitch to him, is try to pitch him away. The average isn't very high, but that one came back to the outer third. It wasn't on the black or just off the plate. It snuck back to that spot where he could still get his arms extended.
Yeah, and there's a cutter in. There's not a lot on that fastball. It's
no, but by where Hundley is set up, they wanted it away, but then it cut back. Jason Gurka is up in the bullpen.
2-0. The Rockies came into this ball game with a team ERA of 7.97, and amazingly, it's gone up.
De La's right now is an 11.88.
Three 3-0 on Myers. Curveball's fouled off. 3-2. To third on the backhand. Good play by Nolan. That'll end the frame. 6 runs in the inning. 3-run home runs from Corey Spangenberg and Matt Kemp. Big hill for the Rockies to climb. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. By Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. It's been all Padres. 7-0 they lead as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning, and the new third baseman Adam Rosales, who stepped in and pinch ran for Yangervis Solarte after he pulled a hamstring. So he's at third. Shift on for Cargo, lined a single left his first time up against Pomerantz. Pomerantz has allowed 2 hits, the single by Gonzalez, the double in the second by Nick Hundley. He has struck out 6 in 3 innings.
The difference is 43 pitches.
Tell you what you want to see from Cargo is a return to a number of 266. That's his lifetime batting average left on left, which is very respectable coming into last year. But last year, despite the 40 home runs, 97 ribbies, he hit just 195 against lefties.
I think you keep taking that approach against the left-handers, that number will go back up to the 260s, 270s, 280s. At base hit, and even though he got underneath that one to left, it was the right approach.
Right, good at bat. 1 out, and that'll bring up Nolan. Popped to right field his first time up. We always talk about baseball does have momentum, and the pitcher sets the momentum, and unfortunately, you know, with this rough outing by De La Rosa, and even before all the runs got put on the board, it was the walks. It takes some of the life out of you, you know, offensively. And now you see a crooked number up there, and hopefully the Rockies can start piecing a couple hits together and do the old chipping away. But
you don't have that on-off switch. Well, I'm on defense, and I'm on offense. You know, when you're out in the field for so long, and you're kind of standing around, it's hard even when you go grab that bat to get that energy level back up again. It's not an excuse, it's just human nature. You just try to stretch, stay loose out in the field, and this is what he's doing. Your legs get heavy, your feet start to feel like they're, you know, shoes weigh 20 pounds.
3-0. That's in there. Pomerantz went to Oakland. We talked about the trade that brought him to Colorado. He was the main cog in the Brett Anderson deal. And that's ball 4. Brett Anderson had some nice moments when he was healthy. The problem for Brett, and it continues this year, is he's had so many different issues that has kept him off the mound.
Last year was the first time in I don't know how many years, 3 or 4 years, where he was healthy. He was able to.
And he had a good year.
He had a good year. And then didn't even make it out of spring training this year.
And he's on the 60-day disabled list. Got a back situation. Mark Reynolds struck out swinging in the second. Ball 1 on Mark. Misses. Base hit the other way. Nolan's going to get to third on this, and Reynolds is going to end up with a double. So now the Rockies have something cooking with Ryan Rayburn coming up in 1 out.
Take what the pitcher gives you. Second hit this season for Mark Reynolds. Takes the pitch away from Drew Pomerantz. Drives it that way. Playing well off the line was Matt Kemp. Nolan trucking around second. Get a chance for Ryan to drive in 1, if not 2 runs. Well, why not make it 3? Go ahead and hit a home run. Did that down in Arizona.
He did hit a big fly down in Arizona. Not a lot of experience at Coors Field. Time American League player, just his 4th career game at 20th and Blake. Got more than 800 in his career.
I'll say this about Drew Pomeranz. I don't remember him having that consistent of a curveball when he was here.
He didn't have the command of it that he's demonstrated tonight. But Drew Pomeranz, last couple of years, his whip, walks and hits per inning pitch, in the 1-1 range, which is terrific. So he obviously has been throwing a lot more strikes than when he was in Colorado.
Well, and he said too, he's learned about his mechanics, learned his own style of pitching, not changing things maybe mid-batter or in between batters. Very simple approach on the hill. It's almost like a modified, stretch even when he's going from the windup.
This is going to be deep enough to get a run home. Nolan tags, he'll come down. Mark Reynolds will tag and go to 3rd. So the Rockies are on the board on the sac fly by Ryan Rayburn. It's 7-1. Second Rockies RBI for Rayburn.
That's what you do. Just chip away, get a run here, get a run there.
Well, right guy at the plate, Nick Hundley. We were discussing this the other day. Guys get up for their former team. Nick raised in the Padres organization and many real solid years in San Diego. Since he left, he's hitting .455 against the Padres, including a double his first time up. On the inside corner for a strike.
Drafted back in 2005 was Nick by the Padres. 9th Major League season.
So Derek Norris reunited with Drew Pomeranz. He caught him in Oakland, and it was a nice battery, a really nice battery. In fact, Drew Pomeranz throwing to Derek Norris has been more successful than with any other catcher in his career. 50 innings coming into tonight. He had fashioned a .270 ERA, 49 strikeouts versus just 22 walks with Derek Norris behind the plate.
And those are the numbers that managers will also look at. How does he catch or pitch to this catcher? And sometimes that might trump who's on the hill for the opposing team. Who do I want catching my guy? And a shot at Andy Green a moment ago, first-year manager for San Diego. His first Major League win yesterday.
That is correct. Here's the 2-1 to Nick, and that kicked away, and here comes Reynolds. That was 3 straight pitches that Norris was trying to block. That one got away, and the Rockies get a second run.
It helps as a base runner at 3rd with the left-handed pitcher because you can get further down the line than you could with a right-handed pitcher. It'll go down as a wild pitch on the spiked curveball. Norris turns over, tries to lay down and block it, but watch Reynolds out of the corner. Sees it, doesn't hesitate, takes off.
Nick took a home run hack there, 3-2. Well, a 6th spot in the top of the frame for San Diego. It's so important that the Rockies put something up to get a little life going. And Hundley walks. Darren Balsley to the mound. You know, that's not a great split, and it's a little bit surprising that that's the split balls and strikes right now, because he has 6 strikeouts, and until this inning, he really had, had dominated the Rockies, I think it would be a little more dramatic split in favor of strikes.
But I think some of that, most of that has come this inning.
Yeah.
Just looking to the on-deck circle, Christian Adames has come out and started to get loose for Jorge.
Strike on Barnes.
What you can do as a hitter on that first pitch on the Subaru strike zone. Paints it knees and black.
Two strikes. This ball is driven to right and deep. Kemp going back. He's going to have to play it on a short hop off the wall. And Hundley's going to get a stop sign from Stu Cole. It was well played, actually, by Kemp as it hit the base of that wall. So Brandon Barnes is off to a really nice start offensively this year when given an opportunity.
Still hitting .500 is Brandon. And because it hit the dirt first and then the fencing, it caused the ball just to sit down. Curveball left up, 0-2. You like that. But then Kemp, knowing he's not going to be able to catch it, when it kicks off the padding down at the wall, is able to corral it immediately. That 0 for 5 for Christian as the 2 games he played down in Arizona when he came in as a double switch.
So big at bat right now. Throw out a base hit. It's a 3-run game. Curveball for a strike on Adames. Hundley at third, good speed at second, and Barnes. And it's 0-2.
No, he didn't.
Marvin Hudson at first base.
He agreed with me.
(7-2) San Diego in the fourth. 1-2 on the pinch hitter Christian Adames. Again, he checked his swing on a curveball. 2-2. Pomeranz throws it's slurvy at times. It's a hard curveball. It's usually in the low 80s as opposed to, you know, a 77, 76 mile-an-hour curveball.
Where it would have a bigger hump in it if it was that slow.
Yeah, Barry Zito kind of curveball. It's even slower with Zito. 3-2. DJ's on deck. The Rockies really extending Pomeranz here in the fourth.
And this is where Drew has thrown that knuckle curveball down to try to get the strikeout over the top. See if he goes back to it.
He does, and he missed with it. Bases are loaded. for the Rockies' hottest hitter, DJ LeMahieu. I know that sounds strange with Trevor Story to say that. Obviously, Story has all the home runs, but DJ brought a .571 average into the ballpark, and this was clearly down.
And that is what he had some swing and misses on in the first and third inning. That pitch, Christian Adames wisely laid off it.
And you know what? Great at bat for Adames because he was in a ditch 0-2. He's coming off the bench cold.
And hasn't had a hit all year. You're 0 for 5. Everything plays into that.
And, you know, you got the adrenaline flowing just because you're out there, but the adrenaline flowing, all right, we're down. I could drive in 2 runs, get us back in the game. Good AB. DJ, ground ball to second. And Spangenberg throws him out. In the inning, the Rockies end up with a pair of runs. Sac fly from Rayburn, while pitch brought another one home at 7-2 Padres off to the 5th. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. So the Rockies counterpunch a bit in the bottom of the 4th. They put a 2-spot up at 7-2 Padres. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, Mark Stout. And the new pitcher for the Rockies to begin the 5th inning is Jason Gurka. Lefty has been utilized a couple times already and he's trying to get back some of the success he enjoyed during spring training, which allowed him to make this club. He struck out 20, didn't walk a batter in March.
And that's why he made the club. Had just a phenomenal spring. Pitched yesterday, 1 inning, 3 hits, couple earned runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. 20 pitches thrown. He's going to be asked, you know, he needs to hold it here, but he's going to be asked to pick up a couple innings, I'm sure.
Well, the Rockies have the extra arm in the bullpen, but even with that, that's a fair ball down the right field line for Rosales, who just stepped into the ball game, and he's not going to test the great left arm of Carlos Gonzalez. So we learned a couple things about Rosales. 1, he was ready to go, and 2, he's a very bright young man.
Be ready to go with the first swing the minute you step into the box. But the second one is, I've seen Carlos Gonzalez throw out guys before. I'm not going to be one of those guys. I'll shut it down.
Just to finish my original thought, you have 8 guys in the bullpen, but because of the use of the bullpen, the ineffectiveness so far of the rotation, and quite honestly the bullpen also for the most part, the Rockies may be forced to make an early season move to get a
different look, a fresh arm.
You know, maybe all of the above.
Because if you're wondering, just that tonight down in the minor leagues would just be the 3rd game that they've played. They started a couple days later.
You mentioned it earlier. John Gray was scheduled to go tonight from Modesto in Stockton. but they have some wet weather in Stockton. He's going to pitch tomorrow now on his first rehab assignment. John feels great. He threw a couple of good bullpen sessions before heading to the California League, and see if the Rockies could turn two. Glove flip, Story to first, double play.
Oh, yes,
fancy
indeed.
was that?
Fancy on so many levels. First, it was fancy from DJ to catch it on the backhand, not worry about transferring it to his bare hand. And I'm just going to go ahead and flip it out of my glove.
He's actually behind him. Watch where this flip comes.
So he catches it, flips. Now this, you'll work on that in practice, but DJ also, or excuse me, Trevor also knowing that I've got to catch it and hit the bag and make the turn.
We're going to say this 1,000 times this year, and other broadcasters the same deal. It's the neighborhood play now being a thing of the past. It makes plays like that. Huey, you were middle infielder. It becomes so much more difficult.
Right, I would come 3 or 4 inches behind the bag. I would come back, and you can see Trevor hit that right corner, but I wouldn't even worry about it. I'd just drag my foot 3 or 4 inches behind it. Because it looked like you were close to the bag. Umpires were going to call it. That allowed me to clear myself from the runner.
Right, and it wasn't a reviewable play, and now obviously it is. That's a great, great play on both ends. And 2 strikes on Alexi Ramirez, who's nothing for 2 in the ball game. Two hops to a retreating Nolan Arenado, and then the overhand fastball to Mark Reynolds, and it turns into a very good inning for Jason Gurka. 7-2. Trevor Story will lead it off when we return. Show. The club. This week we focus on the historic debut of Rockies rookie shortstop Trevor Story, and we also go behind the scenes to see how Coors Field was transformed from a ballpark to an ice rink this winter, and then back into a ballpark all in time for opening day. All of that and the top moments from opening week. It's the club Sunday right after the ball game between the Rockies and Padres. Great new show, and I hope you'll catch it each week right here on Root Sports. Trevor Story, couple of strikeouts so far against Drew Pomeranz. 2, 3, and 4 for the Rockies in the 5th, trailing by 5 runs. Inside, ball 1. Well, Dougie just handed me a note, by the way, Jeff. He handed me a note, and it says Solarte, right hamstring strain. I was like, really, Doug?
Really?
That's
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you. He's an MD now. We figured that out as soon as he grabbed the back of his leg as he was stumbling around first. But thank you for confirming that.
Is he day-to-day?
No, he's going to go on the DL tomorrow. Doug will hand us that note tomorrow.
They made a move.
Right. Story hits it high in the air to Kemp. 1 out.
Doug was just probably relaying what the San Diego people sent out.
Not missing a beat. He handed you a note in the second inning saying that Pomerantz is left-handed. Cargo, a left-handed hitter. Cargo lined a single to left in the first and lined to left field his last time up. I don't know how Jim Joyce in a long ball game has a voice at the end of the night.
He's trained to do that. That's what he does. He's done it for 20-something years now.
Couple of curveballs and Pomerantz is ahead 0-2. What the percentage is tonight? He's probably thrown that curveball, what, 35–40%?
And he had come in throwing it 31% of the time. From 2011 to 2013, didn't have a whole lot of confidence in it, just 17% of the time, but the last 2 years going into this year, almost 29%. But tonight, I'm with you, Drew. It's got to be close to 45%.
He's thrown it a bunch.
He has 3 groundouts to go along with 4 flyouts, 6 strikeouts.
And Cargo.
Got a bad bounce off the.
Yeah, Cargo would have reached for the second time this year on a strikeout had the ball not ricocheted right back to Derek Norris like a pitchback.
And that was yesterday in the 7th inning when he reached. Swings, goes through the 5-hole of Derek Norris, but he picks it up, makes his throw to Will Myers, who has to pick him up. Pretty smooth pick from Mr. Myers at first base. Get to the ballpark early tomorrow, Sunday, April 10th. The first 20,000 fans through the gates will receive a Nolan Arenado Diamond Leader bobblehead courtesy of the Shane Company.
And this is to shallow right. Long run for Kemp. He'll get there. And a 1-2-3 fifth inning for Drew Pomerantz. 7-2 San Diego.
Padres dugout, they lead at 7-2 as we go to the 6th inning. Trevor Story just hit for the Rockies, flew out to right, did not get that home run. I thought it would be fun to check and see how our Root Sports crew and Walt Weiss did in terms of getting their 6th home run. For Spilly, it took him 85 games. Walt Weiss, game number 222. Corey Sullivan, game 249. And for Huey, it was game 409. You hit your 6th home run off of Dave Fleming. I'm sure you remember it.
Left-handed pitcher for the Seattle Mariners in the Kingdome.
Do you know?
You want any more? I mean,
well, there were only what, 8?
That wasn't his game.
That wasn't.
Do you know that Dave Fleming was our bat boy on our American Legion team?
No way.
His older brother John was my teammate, and Dave Fleming was the bat boy. Safe at first. Spangenberg with the great speed. That was close.
Mark immediately, and I think they all do this now. You know, if they think they got him, challenge it, look at it.
Well, you got it.
So jumps off the mound. Doesn't really fire it down there.
I think he's
I
safe.
think.
Oh, he's out.
He's out.
See, that angle. When he first ran, I thought he was out. Then the first angle, I said, well, he looks like he's safe. And that angle, he clearly looks out.
He's out. Well, this shouldn't take long either. That play at second base. Jim Joyce and Marvin Hudson. Out. Ball and glove.
Pretty clear there.
Yeah, go ahead and mark it 1-3, put out.
He's out. Walt's 2 for 2 tonight.
I'll give some credit to Brian Jones, Joe Little, the guys working down in the video room.
Yep, San Diego's going to go to their bench. Jabari Blash is going to pinch hit for Drew Pomeranz. At the knees for a strike. Blash to deep left center field, and this one is off the base of the wall, and the big kid slides in or scoots past second and stops. A 424-foot double, his first major league hit.
Thought for a second it might have a chance to get out. Didn't get it squarely on the barrel, but shows you the strength of Jabari to hit it to the base of the wall.
So a moment he will never forget. John Jay is 0 for 2 and a walk comes up. One and one.
John Jay in 35 career games against Colorado, 322.
That's going to ruin any opportunity to get an out. Your instincts take over. Gurka reached for it. He just couldn't quite get it. Then he slowed it down. Therefore, Trevor Story wouldn't have a play on Jay. So an infield hit, 2 aboard, 1 out for Melvin Upton Jr. with Kemp on deck.
1 hop. It just couldn't get off his right foot high enough after he comes down and lands for making the delivery to home. All Trevor can do is pick it up, hand it right back to Jason, and try to get the double play off of the bat of Upton.
That's out of the zone high. Melvin tonight, a walk, reached on a fielder's choice and a single in the 4th, and would come around on Kemp's 2nd home run of the night. Boy, I got good news for everybody. The Rockies looking for some good news when it comes to pitching, as we all know. Jeff Hoffman made his AAA debut tonight with Albuquerque, and he went 6 innings. Did not allow a run, just 5 hits, throwing 87 pitches, 6 punch outs as well, walked 3. So a really nice debut for Jeff Hoffman. He had a good solid spring.
Well, that's good to see. Kyle Freeland the other night in Hartford had a very nice opening day outing.
For the Yard Dogs.
For the Yard Dogs. That's how they say it back there.
Yeah, because it's close enough to Boston, it's the New England area. It's the Yard Dogs. On the north side of Hartford, the Yard Dogs. On the south side, where there's a little more, New Yorkers, it's the Yard Dogs.
The Yard Dogs?
The Dogs.
The Dogs. Okay, got it.
Sometimes they just say how the Dogs doing tonight. But again, on the north side, it's Yard Dogs. That's to Cargo, and they're going to stop the lead runner Blash at 3rd on the base hit by Upton. And that's a prudent move by Hoffman when you have Matt Kemp coming up. Now, decision for Walt Weiss. Do you want Gurka to face him or Castro, the power righty? No easy decision.
No, and that's why you see Walt kind of shaking his head.
And part of it is okay, you go to Castro, who you want to use later in the ball game, but you're down by 5. There's 1 out in the 6th inning.
And you have a game tomorrow.
When your starting pitcher only goes 4 innings, and that's been the case more or less 4 out of 5 nights, it becomes a very difficult game to manage.
Managing your bullpen is one of the toughest things any manager has to deal with, whether he's a rookie or 20 years underneath his belt. Or Cap.
Kemp up the middle. That's a base hit. That will score 2. Matt Kemp has 6 RBIs, 10 RBIs in the last game and a half. And it's 9-2.
After hitting home runs, the last 2 at-bats, he takes a single up the middle. It's by, and that scores Blash and John Jay. 6 RBIs. Now Jason's just going to have to wear this one for a while.
Second time in Matt Kemp's great career that he's driven in 6 in a game. That is his career high. He did it against the Reds at the ballpark known as Great American Ballpark in 2011. Will Myers 0 for 3. A little jumpy at the plate here early in the season as Myers. He's had about 3 or 4 foul balls like that, Huey.
You get your hands out too fast. You open your hip too quick. I think that's what it is.
$12 hits already for San Diego after throwing out 18 hits yesterday. 30 hits 22 runs for a team that was shut out in the first 3 ball games of the year, and over the last couple of years had the lowest on-base percentage in baseball, 297. Andy Green he inherited a team with some big names, but not exactly an offensive juggernaut, but they've been great in these first 2 ball games of this series. Nolan makes the catch, 2 outs. You know, I think that throw right there by Nolan was a little bit of frustration because he did not have a play. Ran toward the bag, Upton was getting back, and he did not have a play at first base on Matt Kemp, but this was out of frustration.
Yeah, just trying to get out of the inning.
Adam Rosales single in his first at bat after having to come into the game for Yangervis Solarte.
So real quick, it's not the yard dogs, it's the yard goats.
Yard goats. I was calling it the dogs.
Yeah, you were. But,
well, you know what?
I understood what you were saying with the yard because it's close to Boston.
Were they the dogs last year? Were they New Britain? What was their nickname last year?
The Rockcats.
Oh, they were the Rockcats.
Yeah, so it's the yard goat. Beautiful ballpark in Hartford. Not quite done yet, but I saw it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you're back there a lot.
Yeah, it was looking really nice. Right downtown.
This is rope to left. That's a base hit for Rosales. He's 2 for 2. Melvin Upton scores, and San Diego into double digits again, 10-2.
And the second hit tonight for Rosales after coming in for the injured Solarte.
Get foul, turn, get left, foul
yes,
ball.
It did.
Yesterday, the Rockies set an all-time attendance record for a regular season game and tickets distributed, more than 50,000, well over 49,000 in the house. That was a regular season record. And tonight, on a Saturday night, more than 35,000 here. And right now, they're very disappointed. It's 10-2 San Diego. 1-1 on Norris. Line shot and knocked down by DJ. Safe. DJ saved a run just by getting some leather on that. That was a bang play. Mark Reynolds is looking at the Rockies dugout. Brian Jones and crew looking inside to see if it's challengeable. And it is.
Yeah, DJ again ranging to his left, just knocks it down, but still has the smarts to get up and make the throw to first base to even make it this close. Good stretch by Mark Reynolds, and I say that because see where he is on the bag? He's towards this back side of the bag. Look at that. And that allows him to stretch from there out to the ball, not on the inside corner. This one's going to be a little bit more difficult. You'll have to look at it and break it down frame by frame. Ball and glove. Yeah, I think he's out. I think if you look at this one, from this angle, we'll get the best look. Ball and glove.
I agree with you. I think he's out.
Watch the foot, ball and glove.
Yeah, one more frame.
One more click. Out.
Out. Rockies are 3 for 3 tonight. It's about the best news we can offer you. That'll get them off the field. 3 more runs for the Padres. It's 10-2, middle of 6.
Packs are back for the 2016 season. It's available every value game, including the April 12th through the 14th against the San Francisco Giants. That's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for either $59 or $79, depending on seat location. The Coca-Cola value packs. Welcome back to Rockies baseball. Bottom of the 6th inning. Rockies have a little work to do. 10-2 trailing the San Diego Padres. Carlos Villanueva on the hill last year with the Cardinals. 2.95 ERA, 35 relief appearances. Veteran of 10 major league seasons. Brewers, Toronto, Cubs. As I mentioned, the Cardinals last year. Fastball, slider, changeup, curveball mix from the veteran.
Rockies have been out hit 13-4. Mark Reynolds had a double and scored a run in the 4th inning. Strike 1 on Mark. Villanueva from Santiago in the Dominican Republic, and fastball's pulled outside. Reynolds' Coors Field numbers: 278, 8 home runs, 23 driven in at 38 career games here. And that catches the corner 1-2. Ground to short. And a long throw made by Ramirez. We'll bring up Ryan Rayburn. Rayburn a sac fly in the 4th inning. The day after every Rockies victory, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. Great to have them back again with us this year. Use the promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. 1-1 on Rayburn. Whips it back through the zone. Doesn't get any baseball though. 1-2 on Ryan. Bottom of the sixth inning. The Rockies down by a bunch, down 8 runs.
Where you have to make sure you don't give away at bats. It's early in the season. It's easier to stay focused, stay into an at bat, but just don't give it away. Go ahead and battle.
Hard shot, and that was on the bounce, so it is 3 unassisted, but it did touch the ground. So Rayburn is the second out. That'll bring up Nick Hundley.
Talking about the Hartford Yard Goats a moment ago. They split a doubleheader tonight against Richmond. David Dahl hit his second home run.
Yep.
Had one last night and again tonight.
One of the top 2 or 3 prospects in the Rockies organization and high up among the top prospects in all of baseball. Hundley out front. It's going to twist into the seats out of play. See this, the Rockies, according to MLB.com, they listed the Hartford Yard Goats as the 3rd most talented team in minor league baseball. Now, folks, that's based on the number of prospects they have. So that's a AA team in the Eastern League, but that includes teams in all the not the short seasons, but all the low A teams, all the high A teams, the AA teams, and the AAA teams. It's a lot of teams, and they were listed as the 3rd most talented team in all of the minor leagues. So high praise for that roster that's playing in Hartford. This ball to deep right, and it's tracked down out there by Matt Kemp. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for Carlos Villanueva. We'll go to the 7th inning. It's 10-2. San Diego leading in Lodo. Diego, as we go to the top of the 7th inning, the Rockies have made another change on the hill. Jason Gurka went 2 innings, gave up 3 runs on 6 hits, and Miguel Castro comes on now. This will be his 3rd appearance for the young right-hander who throws extremely hard.
Pitched opening day in Arizona. 1 inning, a couple strikeouts in that game. Came in again on Wednesday. This time it was just a 1/3 of an inning, but also had another strikeout. Ben Paulson now in left field. Go down as the double switch. Castro going into Rayburn's spot. Paulson into the pitcher spot, hitting 9th.
So Castro ready to go, as is Alexi Ramirez stepping up. Slider, get him turning away. It's in there for a strike.
That's what we saw a lot of from Miguel on Wednesday, was slider after slider.
Throws the fastball there, and he's going to get an easy out. We'll bring up one of the hitting stars, but he's not a co-star tonight. He's a supporting actor star. Corey Spangenberg, who's the lead man, is Matt Kemp. He's got 3 more hits tonight, 2 home runs and 6 RBIs. But Spangenberg hit a 3-run home run in the 4th inning. That made it 4-0. Later in the inning, Kemp hit a 3-run home run to make it 7-0. Carlos Villanueva will get a rare at bat, I'm sure, this year. Ball 1. Strike.
Looking back, he had 8 at bats last year for St. Louis. 10 the year before with the Cubs.
Whoa, way inside. Yeah.
You're not really worried about swinging the bat here.
Yeah, so the guys will knock out early in a game, especially guys anybody throws hard. You knock out the back line of the batter's box. He'd like to knock out the far line so he can be as far away from the plate as possible. And that's all.
He did exactly that.
That was like as disinterested as a senior in the spring going to school.
This day in Rockies history, we flash back to April the 9th of 1993, perhaps the most famous home run in Rockies franchise history. Ewok, first game at Mile High Stadium, 80,227 in attendance. He said that he was floating around the bases when he hit that home run, and it's always great to have EY around. Talk to him today, and a big smile on his face, just reminiscing. Enjoyed yesterday here, the home opener, hearing the crowd give him a nice hand. And of course, he's coaching first base now. Can't forget that homer, guys.
No one will ever forget that homer. There were 400,000 people at Mile High that day. I said 80,000, but you go walk around town, talk to some people. Everybody was there. Brandon Barnes takes a strike on the outside corner. Ben Paulson's on deck. Then DJ LeMahieu. Rockies have 2 runs on just 4 hits tonight. Pomeranz went 5 innings, allowed the 2 runs and 4 hits. Walked 2, struck out 7. Rosales 1 out. The Rockies pitching has looked like this. De La Rosa, 4 innings, 7 runs, 7 hits. He walked 5, struck out 3. And not only did he struggle, Jeff, with his command, clearly he walked 5 of the first 10 hitters, but he looked like he was missing about a foot on his fastball.
Yeah, probably 3 or 4 miles an hour lower than what we've seen. It might have topped out 91, 92, but pitching a lot at 88, 89, and then his split finger, there wasn't that big difference there because the velocity wasn't as much on the fastball. I think that's the part that you wonder about.
Yeah, and San Diego eliminated the split finger because he didn't throw it near the strike zone, so it's another rough outing for Jorge. Gurka came in and he pitched 2 innings, allowed 3 runs on 6 hits. Miguel Castro, 1-2-3 inning last frame. 10 runs, 13 hits for the Padres. One and one on Ben Paulson.
Go back to pitching for a moment. Senzatella for Hartford tonight. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts.
Well, we've talked about the 3 guys that are pushing to get to the big leagues in a big way, and that's Jeff Hoffman, who pitched a beautiful game tonight, Kyle Freeland, who pitched very well yesterday, Antonio Senzatella, another guy who was very impressive this spring when he was in A games, big league games. He was not unnerved by his surroundings, shall we say.
No, I saw him pitch 3 times during spring training, and it was a treat every time.
Paulson is a strikeout victim.
Well, the 2016 Colorado Rockies Youth Baseball Camp at Coors Field that's presented by Sports Authority will take place on June 27th and June 28th this year. Registration will begin in May. Actually May 8th for boys and girls aged 8 to 13. So don't forget to register beginning May 8th. Spots are limited. You don't want to miss it. Youth Baseball Camp here at Coors Field.
DJ, a comeback or a strikeout and a ground ball to second. DJ had multi-hit games in his first 4 this year, which tied the club record that Larry Walker produced in 1997, getting multi-hit games in each of the first 4 games of the year.
I haven't heard from Larry yet.
No, he'll check in soon.
He usually checks in pretty quickly.
18-time DJ's batted in the leadoff spot in his career. Down the right field line, and it's going to be out of play. I think against lefties, good, Charlie's going to play against some lefties, but when he does get a day off against a left-handed pitcher, it's going to be DJ leading off.
Well, the Rockies were 11-32 against left-handed starters last season. So, and that's why you went out and got Ryan Raber. just gives those guys an opportunity to play.
There's a base hit for DJ.
There we go.
Well, the Rockies have already beaten a lefty this year. They beat Patrick Corbin on Wednesday in Phoenix.
Let's take a look at this man that's coming to the plate right now, Trevor Story, in the home run by pitch type. And there's two home runs on here on fastballs. This is his first major league home run. And then yesterday, that's his 6th. Those two to me were the most impressive. To get that first one out of the way, you know how hard that is, but then the one inside, to pull it as much as he did, where he had to really get his hands inside, that tells you he wasn't thinking about hitting a home run, he was just reacting. And here's the home run yesterday for the 2nd of the game. Fastball in, really just pulls the hands in and still gets part of the barrel. Didn't even barrel it up all the way. But the strength of Trevor, and I was listening to some stations this morning like we always do, doing our homework, whatever. There's, oh, you know, another Coors Field. 4 of the 6 home runs have been on the road.
Don't get me going.
I had to, because
I'm not in a real good mood right now.
I had my second cup of coffee this morning when I heard that. And I was like, are you kidding me? We're not going to start this already, are we?
No. So let's put the bat on the ball.
You do.
Before the first 6 were on the road. It's like last year, 22 of Nolan's 42 were on the road. Two and 1. Something else you may be wondering about, what's the Rockies' record for home runs in consecutive games? Obviously, Nolan's hit a home run, or excuse me, Trevor's hit a home run in 4 straight. Nolan hit a home run in 6 straight last year. 2-1, 3-1. Got a fastball count. Arenado 6 straight, Walker back in '99, 5 straight, Bichette 5 straight in '95. It's happened 17 times, including Trevor Story, where a guy has hit a home run in 4 straight.
Went to an off-speed pitch, 3-1 count.
And that'll be a base hit off the end of the bat. DJ will go first to third. 2 men on for Cargo.
And if you don't think somebody's locked in, when they take a pitch that is a 3-1 pitch, you're geared up for a fastball, you're geared up to try to hit it out, and he takes the slider away. Just catches it off the end of the bat. But if he was pulling off thinking he was going to hit it out, he wouldn't have been able to reach it. Pokes it into right field for his 2nd hit that wasn't a home run.
It is, Caleb. What Trevor Story is doing is why baseball is so much fun. Cargo tonight, a single in 3 trips. Villanueva's got to be like the old-fashioned soft tossing lefty, because he does not throw hard. He tops out about 88 miles an hour with his fastball. That heater at 87. 1 ball, 1 strike.
What do they call the guy that's right-handed that throws like that?
They always, the lefty's always crafty. The lefty's always the soft tossing guy. They don't say about the righties. This ball back up the middle and on through. That'll score a run. Trevor Story will go first to third, and it's 10-3. Cargo has his 3rd RBI of the year, 2nd hit of the night.
Fastball to Cargo. Up. And then Alexi Ramirez, oh, it did go off his glove. Just from watching it in real speed, it looked like he had slowed it down, and he had.
Arenado tonight, a walk in the 4th inning, and he would score. A couple of fly balls to right field, and Matt Kemp 0 for 2. Last year, Nolan hit .373 with runners in scoring position. It was the 2nd best mark in baseball. Not a surprise. He led baseball with 130 RBIs. The only guy to hit higher was Freddie Freeman. Freeman missed some time last year, but Freddie hit .376 with runners in scoring position. 3rd on that list, a young player you and I both admire. We see a lot, Matt Duffy of the Giants.
Duffy did it his rookie season.
Duffy hit .366, Miguel Cabrera .365, Andrew McCutchen .361. A lot of good players on that list.
Names you're used to seeing on that list.
Good players. Duffy's a young guy, but we know he's a good player.
But he was also hitting 3rd for the Giants a lot of the time last year.
Strikes out to end the inning. The Rockies do get a run on 3 straight singles with 2 outs. Cargo getting the RBI, 10-3. The 8th inning with Jeff Houston. I'm Drew Goodman. Mark Stoughton along as well. Here's our Kubota pitching performance. Well, the former Rocky Drew Pomerantz went 5 innings, but for the most part was able to control the Rockies lineup. He had 7 strikeouts, and for Jorge De La Rosa, another rough outing. His 4 innings, he was wild with 5 walks. He ended up giving up 7 runs on 7 hits.
Chance for Miguel to go out for a 2nd inning.
John Jay, Melvin Upton, and Matt Kemp.
Just 8 pitches the 1st inning for Miguel. Ground ball, ground ball, and a punch out.
To the big leagues as a 20-year-old last year early on with the Toronto Blue Jays, was closing some games.
4 of 6 closing for Toronto. After the year before being in A-ball in Dunedin.
Got a good arm, you know that.
Just a lot of whip in that arm. Chad Quall's up in the Rockies bullpen, and Brad Hand, who they just claimed off of waivers from Miami, is in the bullpen for San Diego.
That's a strike, 2-2. And the fastball sails away, 3-2. And a strikeout. Second strikeout for Miguel Castro. And that'll bring up Melvin Upton Jr.
Last strikeout he had was the looking one. This is swinging, and it was by John Jay.
On Upton. A couple more hits for Melvin tonight. Justin getting used to the American League now over in Detroit. 1-2.
Have a pretty good lineup still. Detroit.
Watched Miguel Cabrera last night. Went oppo, then he had another big hit. He's another one of those guys that'll roll out of bed when he's 70 and he can get a couple knocks for you. He's balanced. He just has such a great approach. What a gifted hitter Miguel Cabrera is. 2 strikeouts in the inning, 3 overall. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Matt Kemp, what an extraordinary game he had last night, and he's done even better tonight. 6 RBIs, tying his career best set in Cincinnati back in 2011. 10 RBIs the last 2 days.
Look at the first 5 hitters for Detroit: Kinsler, Upton, Cabrera, Victor Martinez, and JD Martinez.
Is that any good?
Pretty good. Well, CC Sabathia beat him today.
Hughes may get another loss. Bottom of the 9th inning. Diamondbacks trailing the Cubs 4-2. Zach Greinke is on the hook again. He went 6 innings, gave up 4 runs on 7 hits against the Cubs. Now pitched by Kyle Hendricks. That's out of play.
And it just turned to a final.
All over?
All over. Greinke 0-2 with a .990 ERA. There it goes. Almost on cue. They're
quick back there.
They are. Just put the final up.
And a strikeout at the side by Miguel Cabrera. 4 strikeouts in a row. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 10-3 Padres. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By American Family Insurance, insure carefully, dream fearlessly. And by Jack in the Box, taste the all-new Double Jack Burger today, only at Jack in the Box. With my good friend and new grandpa, Jeff Hewson, and Mark Stout, I'm Drew Goodman. Padres 10, Rockies 3. Travis Jankowski's now in right field for Matt Kemp. And on the hill, the guy who was picked off of waivers, as Jeff mentioned earlier, from the Marlins yesterday and put right onto the big league roster, the veteran Brad Hand.
And Brad was put on waivers the day before opening day, so he was out there on the 3rd, and then claimed, and then put on the Major League roster for San Diego last season. 38 games, had 12 starts, 32 walks in 93 in the 3rd inning. Originally a 2nd-round pick by the Marlins in 2008.
Mark Reynolds on the ground up the middle, and it's right through the wickets of Spangenberg. His 2nd error on the season. I mean, it's a ground ball, but does the fact that he is over on the left side, does it play in it at all, do you think, Huey?
No, it's bad form. See how the hands are so back underneath it? He doesn't get his hands out in front, and the ball just ate him up.
So on the error, Reynolds at first, and the pitcher spot is up here in the 6th spot in the order, so Charlie Blackmon's going to pinch hit. Strike on Charlie. And that's inside. Two and one.
Yeah, pretty much true to form. 93 to 95 with the fastball. Anywhere from 80 to 83 on the curveball.
And a high fly ball to Jankowski in right. 1 out. Nick Hundley will approach. Who Wants Tacos fans? Follow at @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies eclipse the 7-run mark. Nick a double in the 2nd. He walked in the 4th. Fly ball to right in the 6th inning. Nick has caught all 5 ball games so far for the Rockies. My guess is Monday's an off day, but my guess would be Tony Walters may get his first big league start tomorrow. There's a right-hander going, and big game James Shields, and the Rockies have Chad Bettis going.
Yeah, and Walt pretty much said the same thing today during his press conference, where he said this would be a good time for him. You mentioned right-hander, get him his first start. Nick's played a lot.
Walt's really good about keeping guys involved. You don't want an American League situation taking place in the National League where guys are over there for 2 weeks and gets tapped on the shoulder. Hey, go pinch hit, win the game in the 9th. And like, I haven't had an AB in 2 months, man. What's going on?
And that is a problem in the American League. If you don't play some of your bench players regularly, at least in the National League, you feel like there's a chance every night that you get out there or the game starts that you could get out there and play. American League, the only thing you're really thinking about is when they're going to take the pitcher out. Because once those lineups are set, they're pretty much set for the night.
Nick knew it. Hand touched the inside corner. 2 outs. Got to bring up Brandon Barnes. Double and 3 trips tonight for Barnes. Brad Hand is at it. Chaska, Minnesota. So we turn and ask out loud our producer, Tavis Strand, where Chaska, Minnesota. Is that a suburb of Minneapolis? He's a native of Minneapolis, and it is a suburb of Minneapolis. Thank you, Tavis. Down the line, foul.
Tavis was right on that too. Oh yeah. Exactly outside of Minneapolis.
He knows every professional athlete that hails from the state of Minnesota. Outside. Tavis, what is the nickname of Chaska High School? Crickets.
Nothing. I know who will find it though.
They're the Chaska Chargers. You don't believe me,
I
do
don't
you?
believe you.
I don't
I'll
believe,
wait till Doug
I don't
looks
believe
it up.
me.
Doug's got it.
Dougie's all over it. 1-2. I think that's what their nickname should be. If there is a Chaska High School, it's the Hawks. The Chaska Hawks. Brad's in the Hawk Hall of Fame.
Now I need the team colors.
What's that?
Purple, yellow, white are their team colors.
Is that what they are?
Yes.
Off the end of the bat, and a fly ball to Upton will end the inning. Rockies had Reynolds reach on an error, nothing else across. 10-3 Padres.
Where the Rockies are trailing the Padres 10-3, and we welcome you out to center field. We're getting ready for the Toyota post-game show. Jenny Kavnar with Corey Sullivan and Ryan Spilborg. You saw 3 runs, and for the Rockies, just 7 hits. That's not going to do it in your home ballpark. More importantly, when your starting ace, Jorge De La Rosa, goes out there and doesn't look like the ace that dominates at Coors Field, that's not going to do it.
Through three innings, he had 68 pitches, 36 of them were balls, 5 free passes. In those 4 innings that he pitched, that's not going to get it done.
Well, the part that was alarming was the velocity. It was way down. 92 is where he topped out at, but he's pitching 88 to 90. You have no margin for error, especially if you have no fastball command.
Yeah, so we'll talk a little bit more pitching, and hopefully the Rockies have some bats to show up in the 9th inning. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Jenny, thank you. Chad Qualls is going to throw this 9th inning. Will Myers is going to lead it off for the San Diego Padres. They've out-hit the Rockies 13-7 tonight.
Chad involved in the 2 wins in Arizona. Opening day, 1/3 of an inning, and then again that Wednesday ball game, the one that was started by Tyler Chatwood, 2/3 of an inning.
Qualls hits the outside corner. Myers 0 for 4. He and Alexi Ramirez, the only Padres not to reach tonight. That includes a pitcher because Drew Pomeranz threw out his first hit in 3 years in the 4th inning.
Impressive 2 innings from Miguel Castro tonight. 4 strikeouts. That gives him, in the 13 batters he's faced this year, 7 strikeouts.
That is impressive. Two and 2.
And 0 walks.
Lifted to center field and deep. Barnes going back, and this one's gone. Will Myers with his first home run of the year to dead center field. And it's 11-3. That's the 4th home run hit by the Padres tonight. 2 by Kemp, 1 by Spangenberg, and now Will Myers.
You have to hit a ball right on the screws to take it out. And on top of that, it was a slider. And Will Myers did that. Yeah, good 20, 25 feet over the wall.
Rosales is out, 1 gone. Time for the CenturyLink What's Next. James Shields tomorrow. One of the most durable pitchers of his generation. And Chad Bettis will go for the Rockies. Start number 2 for both of those right-handers. Derek Norris at the plate. And DJ could quite corral it. It'll be a hit for Norris.
I think that's the 3rd time in the last 2 games that DJ's had to make a dive and had a ball go off the edge of his glove.
15th hit tonight, 18 last night. That's 33 hits, 24 runs. And if you're Steve Foster, you're Walt Weiss, or any member of that pitching staff, they'll tell you that is entirely unacceptable.
For an offense that had come in not scoring a run in the first 3 games, had 1 extra base hit.
5 walks, 2 hit batters yesterday for the Rockies. This is great play by Story. He's going to get an out. Now that ricocheted off the fence. It's going to be an error on Story only now because Derek Norris was going to hold at second, but after the ricochet moved to third. So it'll be an infield hit and an error on Story, his first major league error.
Gets over there, comes up, and then just threw it over the head of Mark Reynolds. I didn't think he had an option at second base. This was the only one. If it's on the mark, it would be an out for Alexi Ramirez. And then it kicked off that webbing down by the camera row. but kicked too far, allowing, as you said, Derek Norris to reach third.
Calls will come out. Boone Logan will take his place when we come back.
The #1 live streaming sports service is now available. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Well, it's the top of the ninth. Padres are leading 11-3. Runners at first and third. Now pitching for the Rockies, Boone Logan, 2 1/3. Scoreless for Boone. One of the outings, he went an inning and 2/3. The other, obviously just 2/3 of an innings, but both of them are really, really nice outings to start the season.
Yep, Boone's been in a good place. Spangenberg at the plate. He takes a big swing and doesn't get any baseball. 1 for 3 and a walk, 3-run home run back in the 4th inning. Left on left for Spangenberg against De La Rosa. Spangenberg has 7 career home runs. 3 have come against Colorado pitching. And Boone is ahead 0-2.
Consistent velocity from Boone. He's been 93, hit 96 this year.
Oh, Reynolds made a good play and then threw it into left field. So a run scores, and on the error, Spangenberg at first, Ramirez at second, and a 12th run is home for San Diego.
Straight up air for Mark. Grabs it, and then off balance sails it over the head of Trevor.
That will be an RBI though for Spangenberg. Travis Jankowski, the Stony Brook product, highest player ever drafted out of Stony Brook, was a 1st-round pick, supplemental 1st-round pick. Remember that was when Stony Brook went to the College World Series. He led the nation. Right. He led the nation in hits that year and runs scored playing for Stony Brook.
They're kind of the darlings of Omaha that year.
Absolutely, that was a Cinderella run.
I know you've gone back there with your boys. I've done it. That's always a neat experience. College World Series.
Yeah, great. And you know what? The old stadium was great. It was historic. The new stadium, it's a big stadium now. It's a really big stadium, but it's beautiful. One and two.
And between Omaha and Cooperstown. Is it TD America Ballpark?
Yep, it's TD Ameritrade.
Ameritrade.
Rosenblatt. Ooh, that's off the knob of his bat. That's a foul ball, but it pinched his
the bottom
part of the hand.
Start to swing. And it did catch the bottom portion of the bat before it hit his hand.
Two and two. Still only one out. Ramirez at second, Spangenberg at first. 12 runs, 16 hits and an error for San Diego. 3-7-2 for the Rockies. 2-2, 3-2. And ball four. So the bases are loaded for John Jay. Yesterday I was saying the Rockies walked 5 and hit 2 batters. That's 7 freebies. In tonight's game, that was the 6th walk issued by the Rockies, 5 by starter Jorge De La Rosa. So 17 walks in the first 5 games for the Rockies.
Over about 3.5 a ball game.
That's not actually that's not awful, but then you throw in the hit batters. Actually, I was looking at the wrong number. Let me correct that. I was looking at the wrong numbers. Actually 19 in 5 games, so it's closer to 4, which is too many. This ball's hit well to left center field. It's going to touch down and roll to the wall. This could clear the bases. The trail runner Jankowski can fly, and he's going to score easily. 3-run double for John Jay. And it's now 15-3.
Matt Kemp with the 6 RBI, Spangenberg with 4 RBIs, and now John Jay with 3 RBIs. The gap out at the 390. Easily scores Jankowski from first.
Here's B.J. Upton. He's been on 3 times tonight. Big night last night. A couple hits and a walk for Upton. Oh, and 2. Melvin Upton goes down swinging, so that is the 2nd out. And we'll get a pinch hitter for Brad Hand. This is going to be Christian Bethancourt. He probably will catch tomorrow. So Andy Green's given him an opportunity to swing the bat here. Strike one on Bethancourt. It's the most runs that the Padres have scored in a game in almost 5 years. They scored 15 against the Pirates in Pittsburgh on August 5th, 2011.
Twice last year they scored 14 runs. Both times it was against Colorado.
They may not be done. That's a base hit. And around third coming home is Jay. He'll score. It's 16-3. An embarrassing start at home for the Rockies. They gave up 13 yesterday, 16 so far tonight, 29 runs in 2 games. That was where Matt Kemp was hitting the lineup, Huey. That's 7 RBIs because Kemp drove in 6. That's 7 RBIs out of the 3-hole. Will Myers, who began the inning hitting a home run to dead center field against Chad Qualls, he's up again. Qualls, the book closed on Chad. A third of an inning, gives up 3 runs on 3 hits. The only guy who was effective tonight for the Rockies out of the bullpen was Castro, and he was actually dominant. That's a base hit. He went 2 strong innings, struck out 4. So Myers is 2 for 2 in the inning. He had a lousy game, but a great 9th inning. He was 0 for 4 until the 9th inning. Now he's 2 for 6.
That's why you always have to look forward to your next at bat. Don't look behind at what happened prior to that. You can't change that.
6 runs in the 4th inning tonight. Now 6 runs in the 9th inning.
And yesterday in the 4th innings when the Padres hit around, and tonight it was the 9th inning.
Strike on Rosales. 0-2. Mercifully, that ends the inning. 11 come to the plate for San Diego. They score 6 runs. They're up 16-3. after producing 13 runs on 18 hits last night. They bettered that by 3 runs and 1 hit. Luis Perdomo is going to throw the bottom of the 9th inning for San Diego, and Christian Bethancourt will remain in the ballgame, and he'll catch the 9th inning. Ben Paulson, DJ LeMahieu, Trevor Story.
The Rockies were slightly involved with Perdomo going to the Padres because he was selected by the Rockies in the first round of the Major League Rule 5 draft this winter, and then the Padres made a trade for a player to be named later back on December 10th. Not unusual for that to happen, where you'll have clubs say you draft them if they're ahead of you in that pecking order, the Rule 5, because this is what we want, then we'll make a trade.
Yep, that does happen from time to time.
Well, last year split time between Peoria and Palm Beach, Peoria being in the Midwest League and then Palm Beach in the Florida State League.
So he's made quite a jump.
He's just 22 years of age, won't turn 23 until next month.
Ben Paulson struck out swinging his first at bat. He came in a double switch for Ryan Rayburn a couple innings ago, and he takes strike 1. Pulled to first. 1 out. Boone Logan goes a third of an inning, gives up 3 runs, 2 earned, 3 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. First time Logan's been scored on this year. LeMahieu had a base hit his last time up and would score in the 7th on the RBI single by Carlos Gonzalez. He's been skipping around tonight. Trevor Story has a base hit, does not have a home run. DJ with another hit, and you know what? Because of that, DJ just set a Rockies record. And look at this. It's the only way this guy knows how to play. He watched Upton go to the baseball in a casual fashion. He said, I'm going to second. And he gets a double out of that. And he has a multi-hit game now, so it's 5 straight to begin the season with at least 2 hits in a game. That's a new Rockies record. He shared the old record with Larry Walker.
And then how fitting is it for DJ to leg it out, to have a leg double? It just shows you the score 16-3. Might as well be 0-0 in DJ's mind.
No, he's going to play the same way. Story's base hit to right field in the 7th inning. 1 for 4. You know, discussing Trevor Story as everybody has the last few days. Huey, think about this. He has 6 home runs. He hit the ball to the wall in Arizona, and his first at bat at Coors Field yesterday, he hit one to the middle of the track on a line to Matt Kemp. So, I mean, you know, a little bit of good fortune. We may be talking about a guy with 8 home runs.
And just today during batting practice, you always wonder how a guy will react. What's he going to do? Is he going to try to hit a lot of balls out into the seats now to practice more? No, he didn't do that. He still took the ball the other way. He still went through his routine. Even his last round, when most of the guys are trying to hit it in the seats, there's a ball inside to him. Pull his hands in, hit it to right field.
1 and 2.
Means he's not overthinking this game. He's just kind of reacting, having some fun doing it.
Yep. He's very level-headed.
And that last pitch is definitely in the Subaru strike zone.
Slider down at 85. 2 and 2. Rockies hit a home run in each of the first 4 games of the season, obviously because of Story and others. The Rockies hit 10 home runs in the first 3 games. No long balls so far tonight. And Story out in front of that slider, so there are 2 outs, and that'll bring up Cargo. Actually, it won't bring up Cargo. You're going to get a pinch hitter.
Tony Walters.
Yeah, Tony Walters.
That had more of a downward bite instead of going side and down like a true slider would, but still a hard pitch from Perdomo.
Strike 1 on Walters, second major league at bat. And this one up the middle, cut off. Walters runs well, but he is out at first, and that is the ball game. San Diego dominates. A tough night again for the Rockies on the hill. They lose 16-3, 19 hits.